Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're here with me, Pete, and along with me this week I have Ben.
Hello.
Eddie.
Hello.
And sneaking around in the long grass, we came upon a wild Kirk.
Sneaking around in the long grass. That's some sort of shit Pokemon reference.
Yeah, I think it was Pokemon.
That or you're a snake.
You don't hear Pete.
Yeah, I don't want to go with a snake. I'm going to go with the Pokemon. I like that. Yeah. I'll take it. Hello.
You don't hear Pokemon references on this show and said with such delight. You don't hear that very often.
What, the best
Especially not from
RPG
Pete.
of all time. I mean,
Especially not from Pete.
It is the best RPG of all time. We did conclude that, didn't we? So.
Objectively, yes. But I suppose we should start off here by thanking Kirk for his part in the Game of the Year show. Because
What did I do?
Oh, hang on. I mean, I was pretty drunk at the time, and I haven't listened back to the episode yet, but didn't Kirk choose fucking... It was two bad decisions by Kirk, wasn't it? One, didn't
was
he?
Weird
It was Weird West, mate.
Weird West
Overlord,
over
yes.
Bandlord. I mean, that's bad, like very bad. But then didn't we Tunic?
We gave him a theoretical. Yeah, we gave him a theoretical
Tunic against
versus
Elden Ring.
And
Yes.
you chose
Tunic, obviously.
he chose
obviously.
poorly.
Obviously.
Obviously.
What I love the most is I've listened back to the episode, Eddie, and you were fucking fuming. Not only were you fuming, you were also steaming. You were basically a mixture of the both. But it was
pretty
fucking hilarious when I came back with Weird West, and you just went off on one.
You did, yeah.
You just went off on one.
Honestly.
Because I'm halfway through the episode, I'm at the bit where I went fuming for you guys kicking Gilberth out. I'm at that bit, and I can hear how angry I am. I'm like,
The thing is, you
shit.
go, like, fucking hell, Kirk, he doesn't even know what fucking Bannerlord is. It's just like...
To all our dear listeners, really go listen back to that one because it will give you a good insight into one, how deeply cynically tactical Eddie is in these games, and two, just how fun it is to mess with that. Thank you, Kurt. You did us
You're
all
welcome.
a huge part. But with that said, we probably should crack on with the actual show, which of course is going to feature the news, some new releases, which are still pretty light. I'm gonna be honest, guys. It's still pretty light. A bit of what we've been playing, where Kirk is actually taking the lead there with God of War.
Yeah, man, I've got a PS5 now, haven't I?
Yeah, you made use of it. Love that.
We've got to bring some balance to the force, haven't we? With God of War.
We don't know if he's going to be positive yet. So
Ben hates it. Ben hates it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we know what Kirk's like. He's going to fucking love a game like that.
Yeah. Hang on.
I've already read his notes. I'll be honest, I read his notes, because Kirk, did you notice you pasted it in Pete's spot? And
I did. I did after you mentioned.
Honestly, Kirk, I was reading it and I was like, for a start, I thought, wow, Pete's actually playing a game that he wouldn't usually play. And then his notes were like, this is amazing. And I was thinking, oh my God, Pete's had a stroke. I need to phone his parents.
Not
You
only
need to
that,
get up to London.
You should have noticed, based on how I write my notes and just the sheer lack of vocabulary I've got, that wasn't Pete. that had written those.
Fair enough.
Pete's lost the ability to write cogent sentences. Oh my God.
It just goes to show that I was actually more worried that there was positive speaking in it. So that says more about what Pete is.
And now that's out of the way, our feature this week is on Are RPGs a dying breed? That's our topic.
Controversial.
Yeah, don't act like it's my point, Ben. You raised this anyway.
There is method to the madness. There's method to the madness.
We'll get to that.
Just wait till we get there.
We will get there. But first, we should kick off with the quick news.
Yes, the quick news. So the first one is a rumor that has kind of arisen today, just before we've gone live. Actually, Jez Corden has said that there's going to be an Xbox Developers Direct on the 25th of January. It's going to be showing Redfall, Forza Motorsport, and Minecraft Legends, but there's going to be no Starfield, supposedly.
Bastards.
So we've thought that there's going to be an Xbox kind of Direct, and I like that they're calling it a Developers Direct. That's pretty cool. But no Starfield, supposedly. I mean, Jez Corden is a known kind of Xbox
Most
guy.
of the stuff
Windows
he says is
Central.
generally right, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, he's Windows Central, and he's an Xbox kind of. They call him a leaker. I don't know whether he's really leaking or whether he's been allowed to say things.
Yeah, you can't be known as a leaker and then...
A sponsored leaker.
Yes, exactly. But I assume he's speaking from actual knowledge here. Yeah, you'd assume so, Kirk, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So we look forward to that one. It does imply that Starfield is going to be, if that's true, that Starfield will be later in the year.
It was meant to be spring kind of time, wasn't it?
I think
to
we
be
were
last
kind of.
year.
I think we were kind of left in the dark, weren't we?
Let's see what happens. Let's see. What
Yeah,
happens.
I suppose follow on quick news to that one then is that supposedly, okay, this is all the rumor mill. These first two, Redfall is reportedly coming in May, and it's been internally delayed from March. This is all unconfirmed, but there are also very weak rumors that Starfield is coming in March. So that would be unlikely, given that they're not talking about it. The directors at the direct. So who knows? Let's just wait till the end of January and go from there. But cool, finally, that they're going to be putting something out there that we can all get excited about. So, yeah. Xbox again. Asus have announced a licensed Xbox controller with an OLED screen. I assume Kirk will be buying 25 of them.
No, I've seen it. It looks crap.
It looks crap for now, but I'll wait for Kirk's full review when it comes out.
I've got actually a little bit of my own quick news, only because we're talking about Starfield coming out. Do you know the day before has now got a release date?
Has it got released?
Yeah, 1st of March.
Oh, was that announced at CES?
I'll be honest with you, Ben. I saw it on a short today, and I thought I'll bring it up in the pod, and then just to obviously make sure it wasn't false, I've gone on Steam now, and it says 1st of March 2020.
Oh, that's awesome,
Nice.
Because
people are saying
the
it's
next
gonna
on
be
the
Is it a real
the next
game?
on the news
Yeah.
was the trailer. Have you seen the trailer, Eddie?
Yes, yeah, seen that.
Yeah. What did you make of that one?
It's impossible to know what kind of if this is going to be a good game or if it's not going to be a good game by the gameplay footage. I think it's all going to be down because, like, to me, there are so many games that I think of when I see the gameplay footage. Like, I link it to like the Division 3 or Division 2.
Yep.
And even the fucking zombie game that I think is amazing mechanically. I can't fucking remember.
State of Decay.
State of Decay, thank you, Go. I even like some of the gameplay footage, I see similarities in that. So it could be a very good game, but you never know. Like, a lot of these games, they look the same and feel the same as all the shit ones. So
They do. And you say 1st of March. That's interesting because this trailer, to me, like, it looked like it could be like scripted gameplay.
yes.
You're like,
yeah, I know.
it's not real gameplay. It's like,
Also,
if
it looks like a shit game and feels like a shit game, is it not just a shit game? Like,
no,
what?
Yeah.
not necessarily.
No, I'm with you there. I say no to that.
Yeah, not necessarily.
All right, how about this? Hang on, I'm going to get it up. What's that game that I love? Empyrean Galactic Survival. That looks like a pile of shit, and it plays clunky as fuck, but that is an amazing game. There you
I
go.
also think that about Project Zomboid, actually.
Oh,
like,
Project
where
Zomboid, yeah, because that
Yeah,
does
where
feel awkward, doesn't it? The way you
looks like
walk
shit.
around.
It doesn't play. It doesn't feel like it plays good, but that's an
What a
awesome
game.
There's
Yeah.
so many examples of this, but we'll wait and see.
There's the two, but yes, okay.
There's two. There's so many examples. Pete, there are so many
We come up with
examples.
2 in 10 seconds. What do you want us to sit down for an afternoon?
Yeah, make a new feature on it. Come on, we can do that.
I like it, actually.
Right, but yeah, anybody who hasn't checked that out, there was a new trailer at CES, the showcase from last week. Also at CES, there is a live-action Gran Turismo film. I don't know if we knew about this before,
No.
but
I thought there was a Netflix show coming. I thought that's what they were doing with GT, but I didn't know they were doing a film.
yeah, there's a film.
So it's just going to be like the other racing films.
I've got no idea
it's-
how they're going
It's
to
live action.
dramatise this.
Oh, I see. So it's going to be one of those games. Like
I think
game
it's-
films.
Yeah, I seem to have some memory of someone talking about it being based on an actual Gran Turismo driver or something.
Yeah, it's going to be based on. I mean, the game itself is going to be. It's just the title of it's just going to be Gran Turismo. That's also going to the only link
The
is
film,
that.
only
yeah.
link-
That's it.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's show about 5 minutes of racing. The rest of it's going to be some fucking dickhead who's a driver and the trials and tribulations that go on
Why does he have
backstage.
to be a dickhead?
Is it Rush
Why-
or whatever it was called? It's just going to be that.
Why does he have to be a dickhead?
I don't know.
Because
He's
he
in Gran
plays
Turismo.
roomy games, that's what.
I don't know. Yeah, he's someone that sits there with mashed potato. You know.
There you
kind
go, good link, Kirk. He listens to previous episodes. Love it.
Does this mean that it's going to be like computerized graphics? Is that what live action means?
I fucking hope not.
No.
No. Live action is like
the opposite,
is real.
yeah.
Is real.
Live
thought it was
action
like
is
meal
non-CGI.
mixed. No, but it's real mixed with computerized, like the Jungle Book.
Well, I guess I'd said live action because Gran Turismo is a computer-generated game, so...
It's a TV show. It's going to be some combination of CGI and live.
I mean, it's a film.
Okay,
right, Gran Turismo 7 is also a PSVR 2 launch title.
Don't know why we need this.
Yeah, that could have been cold.
Well, no, no, Ben, I'm defending you
great.
here. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
So do I. I think that's
How
fantastic.
cool would that be in VR?
Yeah, because they had the last Gran Turismo in VR, but this is the full Gran Turismo 7. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would love that.
Especially because in Gran Turismo 7 you can get fully in the car. Kirk's only wants to play because he's all about Forza Motorsport. You're so predictable.
No. Dude, I've got a PS5 now. I could get GT7 if I wanted to. I'm not going to right
if I
now.
wanted to.
Kurt, we're 10 minutes in. You've brought up twice that you bought a new PlayStation.
Yeah. Did I tell you I got a PS5? Got a PS5, mate? Yeah. No, I don't see the point in playing a racing game in virtual reality, in all honesty. I don't know how many people actually...
Why
I don't
not?
know...
Why not? What?
That seems like the only way to play it.
That seems like the best way.
When I saw this quick news, I thought this is the best type of game to be in VR because it's all visual, it's all in
Absolutely.
the car. Like,
That's
Eddie,
awesome.
You can play it for the cheap price of £600 or so.
Yeah, I know, right?
oh, wait till my news story, Pete. You sit back and relax, my friend.
Next one, Ken Block, the star of the Codemasters Dirt series. He's died at the age of 55 following a snowmobile accident on his ranch in Utah.
Yeah, I heard about this.
That was big news in the week.
Yeah.
Pretty good way to die. Doing what you love at home. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it doesn't... Yeah.
I'd rather him not die, Ben. I'm just saying, if you're gonna die doing something you love at the age of 55 at your home, it must be pretty nice.
I don't even know what snowmobile really is. Like,
What?
Is that the thing you ride?
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
You've seen the
vroom
new
vroom.
Bond
So
films,
do you
Ben,
not
if nowhere
find...
else.
Why
like
is it
Bond
that all
films,
these kind of like...
But that's where Ben will have seen them at least.
Yeah, he immediately knew. Yeah.
You got it. Pete, you nailed it. Pete.
Why is it all these talented people that they... Like Conor McRae, Ken Block, they always... They never die doing the actual thing that they enjoy doing, which is fucking high risk anyway. It's always something else.
They're high-risk guys, aren't they?
Michael Schumacher. I mean, he's not dead, but...
Yeah, but he was in a fucking coma for God knows how long, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, the high-risk guys doing high-risk things, isn't it?
Yeah, it must be the old adrenaline junkie. You kind of need to have something wired in your brain to do these kind of things, don't you? Day in, day out. So
Suppose
it must
so.
be just trying to push yourself to do something more.
It is a fucking shame. I was thinking about this morning, and I was thinking that it's obviously when there's a celebrity who dies, it just reminds us of the fragility of it all. But never mind.
Jesus, we're getting deep.
This took a turn, yeah.
Whoa!
Let's change it up. Let's change it up.
Good news, please.
Okay, so good news. Naughty Dog debuted its Last of Us multiplayer concept. Oh, this isn't.
We said good news, Ben. God.
Yeah, sorry. They debuted some concept art. I mean, who gives a fuck? I don't know. I can't believe.
You know what? Like to Pete and Kurt saying cull the Gran Turismo one.
Yeah.
This could have been culled.
This definitely could have been.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Retrospectively, yes. And lastly, over 10 million players were actively playing on Steam for the first time the other day, and there was obviously a new concurrent logged in total as well of over 33 million, but a lot were idling. Ooh. But 10 million players playing games on Steam at the same time. That's pretty huge, isn't it?
Cool, isn't it? Yeah.
Pretty fucking huge. But yeah, that's quick news.
Well done, guys.
Fantastic. We're on to the main event.
Am I first?
That's you.
Yeah, no. I was scrolling down. I was like, knowing my luck, it'll be me. HTC Vive new VR headset announced. There you go. So that's nice and promising until you get to the first sentence. HTC Vive has announced its brand new XR Elite headset, which combines mixed reality and virtual reality for £1,299.
What?
Yeah, so I saw this on
tidy.
Eurogamer, and you know what? I'll be honest. So me and Ben played VR at your place, didn't we, Ben? At
New Year's.
At New Year's.
Oh.
And
Okay.
it was fucking wonderful. It might have been the fact that I was already smashed, but
It was great, but we were smashed, and it took me over the edge.
Did you go into VR in one year and come out in the other?
Honestly, after playing, we had a wonderful time. After playing, I don't even remember you leaving.
shit.
But what unit were you playing on? Sorry,
We're playing on the PS5. We're playing PSVR.
PSV. Okay.
It was bloody brilliant, though. I've got to admit.
Fucking good, yeah.
Like,
What were you playing?
well, Kurt, this is the funny thing. Like, it was. I mean, we played 2 games. We played Beat Saber, which, like, visually, it's so simple, but it's. I don't know. There's something about putting it on and just playing it. It's just incredible. And then we played this golf game, which was mind blowing to me, but the graphics were like.
Played everybody's golf.
Yeah, everybody's golf. If you look it up on a web browser, you go, this looks shit, like, graphically. But I don't know, it's something about putting the headset and looking around. It's
It
just,
immerses you a lot more, doesn't it?
It's
We
'cause
also-
you can't see the real world, so it looks better. Yeah.
yeah.
We also played Super Hot VR, and we were so smashed we couldn't get past the first level.
Oh, shit, I just remembered that. Yeah, that's the one where we're actually shooting people, right?
yeah.
How'd you fucking do that? Like, I tried everything. I tried doing, like, a duck and shit.
Eddie, honestly, I think I was going to play it the other day, like not drunk, just to show myself that in 2 minutes I could get past it. But I think it was just the alcohol.
Okay, so can I just say to you two? Obviously, you were saying, Eddie, you were just saying about like the graphics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is the next level. The next evolution of VR that we need from these new headsets, including this Hive one that you've mentioned, where they need to up the game with graphics to make it more photorealistic, to make it even more immersive. Because obviously, having that headset on initially does take you out of the real world. And if you've got if you've got headset on as well and really close yourself off, it can be for a second you can think, shit, I'm actually here. But then you do realise, it's a video game. But when graphics get more realistic, I think that's when things are going to really kind of,
I think you're right, Kirk, because it's the resolution change. The issue with what's great about something like Beat Saber that we played on PSVR is that the colours and everything support that kind of level of resolution that you see on it. But when you play something more complex or more of a normal game, the graphics or the resolution just isn't quite there, and it makes you feel sick. But on these new headsets, I reckon.
Well, this one, it does say as 110 field of view, 4K resolution, 90 hertz refresh rate. So it's
beautiful.
Just 90, not 120 then.
Oh yeah, PSVR 2 has more, doesn't it?
All for the low price of 5 Xbox Series S. Yeah.
Or a PS5 and a Series X and a Series S.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a shame. If I had infinite money, I would definitely get this.
Fair enough.
That doesn't say much.
Yeah, I know.
Right,
if
next.
money was no option, I would get it.
If I had more money, I'd buy more things. Okay.
If it was free, I'd have it.
Yeah, that's
That's
essentially what he's saying.
If it was free, yeah.
I'd have it.
There you go.
That's tantamount to the same thing.
I
But
would
yeah, okay.
pay £30 for it as well. There you go.
Oh wow.
Get out.
Just times that by 40 and you're almost there. Okay. Right, yes.
Shall I move us on?
Lead us, please do, yes.
Right, so apparently Deathverse has seemingly died.
Of course it has.
Yeah. So the devs for Deathverse Let It Die are to temporarily suspend the game only 4 months after its launch. So developer Super Trick Games has confirmed that they will be suspending the free-to-play game due to ongoing challenges, stating that there has been concerns with in-game matchmaking and lag. They plan to redevelop this whilst it's offline, and this starts the 18th of July 2023, and to be really precise, 3 a.m. UK time. That's what's said in the article. I know. So I'm going to go a bit Eddie Reed mode here. So sorry, Eddie. There is no doubt that we experienced some challenges since the launch of our game, particularly with regards to the in-game matchmaking and lag. We deeply apologise for these issues and may have caused an inconvenience to our players, the team said in a blog post. While we have tried various solutions to some degree of success, we have not been able to resolve the underlying problems. As a result, the development and operations team have made the decision to temporarily suspend the game services whilst we redevelop Deathverse Let It Die. This was a difficult decision for us to make, the blog continues. So, now, I mean, the game's obviously fundamentally broken, that they have to take it offline for an undisclosed amount of time to get it fixed, but I've never even heard of this game personally. I'm not going to lie. But with that being said, it does have a Steam user score of mixed. So, it's not poor, but it's not great. So,
I mean, mixed is just pretty much as bad as you can get. I mean,
is it?
The fact that it's got less than 1,000 reviews also tells you a lot.
Okay. So
Did you say it's going offline starting the 18th of July?
That's what it said in the article, yeah.
I thought that's when it was coming back.
Ooh,
Did I misread?
maybe
It says the plan to redevelop is whilst it's offline starting. What? That can't be right. You don't say our
service
game is shit, it doesn't work, and we're going to take it offline in 7 months.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, on the Eurogamer fucking hell, what am I talking about? Article, it says the service will go dark at 3 a.m. UK time, 18th of July, 2023, and no relaunch date has been yet confirmed.
This is the worst.
They are literally letting it die.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Like what? So please don't buy our game because
it's going off in 5 months' time.
Longer than that, but
6 months.
Jesus.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
that is such a poor. Jesus Christ.
But what is Death First? What is it?
It's a battle royale.
It's a battle royale.
Yeah.
So they're basically all's gonna happen is they're gonna shut it down, and resources are just gonna go elsewhere, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Kirk that it'll get to July and they'll say there's no point doing any more in this, and they'll just shut it down. Quietly go away.
You know, they say they got problems with matchmaking. Is that because no one's playing it?
Probably. But then how do you get lag in a game where it doesn't have anybody fucking playing it?
They're calling it lag. Oh, don't worry, there are loads of people to play with, but they're all lagging.
That's it, yeah. That's why everyone was quitting.
It pings through the roof. I can't fucking see anybody.
You would have thought within the next 6 or 7 months they'd be able to kind of like just work on it in the background, surely.
Like I said, something is obviously fundamentally wrong at the core of it. But
couldn't they
Why
have made
announce this
changes
so far in advance?
I know.
Couldn't they have made changes in the next 6 months to try and get it back on track? I don't know.
This is all a cover up. This is all a cover up.
They've just been money laundering, and that's when they're going to be done. No.
Jesus.
That was a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke.
That does not represent the views.
You heard it here first.
You did not hear it here first.
Oh dear. Wow, someone else said it before me. Anyway, moving us on. Yes, let's go PlayStation. Let's talk about PlayStation. So, PS5 standing vertically could cause permanent damage.
Oh shit, I better put mine on the side then.
Right, that's 3. I'm counting that. I'm counting that. There was no need for you to say it. I'm counting that. And when you say that you're playing Ragnarok later on PS, I'm going to say that counts as well.
Yeah.
There'll be a few before then anyway.
Yeah.
So, PlayStation 5 users are advised not to stand their console upright, as doing so may cause permanent damage to the system's hardware. This is reportedly due to a design flaw related to the cooling system for PlayStation 5's accelerated processing unit. So, yeah, obviously we've seen this everywhere in the marketing, that they stand it upright.
Oh, yeah. It's everywhere.
It's like one of the major things they've done all over the place.
I don't think I've ever seen one laying down, if I'm being honest.
I mean,
I lay mine down.
The marketing has it standing up.
I lay mine down.
Yes. But it turns out that if you have something with liquid metal inside, it is prone to leaking if you leave it upright for an extended period of time.
Yep.
And it's a mix of some quite horrible metals as well, isn't it? It's gallium and something. So, yeah, good times. But this was apparently discovered by a console repairman who is a YouTuber called The Coder with a 3 instead of an E.
Great name.
If anyone wants to look him up. Who released a video about this 3 months ago, and other technicians have noticed similar problems since.
Okay.
So
I think this is nonsense.
So not every console is guaranteed to suffer from the defect. It is apparently a risk for every user who leaves it standing upright. Ben, it doesn't matter to you. Yours lies down, so shut up.
No. It's nonsense, because even if it had like a 1% failure rate, that's like 300,000 consoles.
Yeah, they've sold 30 million now, haven't they?
So we would have heard about it. Nobody's talked about it. So it can't even be a 1% failure rate. So, like, yes, shit can happen to any piece of electrical equipment. So why should anyone care?
Well, for one thing, I mean, I take your point, Ben, but it will depend on how, like, say time has an impact on this. The longer you leave it, the more likely it happens.
Yeah.
Well, how would they have tested it then?
I don't know. I haven't watched the video on YouTube. Ben. Jesus Christ.
I feel like you should have watched the video if you're bringing the news
No,
story.
I don't have a
Research,
PlayStation.
mate.
I don't care.
Jesus Christ.
the only thing I will
research.
say, this could, like, can you imagine if this was the 360 Red Ring of Death all over again?
It's not.
I know
is
it's
it?
not going to be, but could you imagine? Like that was a fundamental fuck up with the way that the
Absolutely,
calling
it'd be
system
tragic.
was in that. But
Ben-
It'd be
this,
terrible.
Ben
but it's
Kirk,
not.
for the sake of science, leave your PS5 standing upright for the next however long it takes.
I mean, there are people that
Liquid
have done it
gallium
since
and
day one.
indium
I mean,
melted.
there loads of people have.
Yeah,
Probably
we don't know how long
50%
it will leave
people.
it though.
So, yeah, what a crazy story.
But he's saying it's because of the materials used in it, right, Pete? Is that what you
Yes,
said?
there's a liquid metal component which apparently over time can start.
it's to do with its orientation, like the
Yes.
way that it cools vertically rather than when it's horizontal. I have seen part of this story, but I think, like Ben said, it's nonsense for the most part.
Well, like there might be something in it, but the percentage isn't high.
The
We would have
percentage
heard
is
about
going to
it.
be pretty low. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
this would have come out sooner.
Like it definitely might be a thing. There's no argument against it possibly being a thing, but it's just that the percentage likelihood is so tiny. Like who cares? So if you want to have it standing up, grumpy gamers say no. We don't. We're not liable.
Ben says this.
If you want to have it standing up, that's up to you. And you
Ben-
take all the
Definitely have it.
risks.
Ben
Definitely
will
have it
pay for a
horizontally.
replacement.
Right. Last story. Keeping on the PlayStation vibe. So there was supposedly a leaked a new IP showing about 6 seconds of a new PlayStation game that's coming out. It's being developed by XDev, who are a Sony subsidiary, and it's in early development. And some other leakers have said that it's a bit further along than people already think, and it's fully voice acted. In the 6 seconds, it appears to be a sci-fi game, and people are likening it to Mass Effect and Gears of War, calling it Gears of Effect.
Nice.
So it would make sense that Sony have
Why
a
not Massive
kind of,
War?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Oh, Massive War sounds pretty good, actually. Yeah.
That is much better. Maybe
It
they
is
said
much
that.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gears of Effect just doesn't really.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Anyway.
a love game. Love games? Love games? Love
Love
games?
games. Yeah, it makes sense that Sony would be looking into a Mass Effect similar type game. I mean, the Legendary Edition's done amazingly. Resurgence in that, and there's a new game coming out, so
is.
Sony might be looking for something themselves. And they are releasing all these live service games, so it could be something along that. We've seen Warframe does very well, so I don't know, could be something similar. But yeah, it's a new Sony sci-fi game, so something to get excited about anyway.
Some classic not quite news to round us off. Love it. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there could be something there one day.
6 seconds, Pete.
My
That's what
God.
people have written news stories about. So
Jesus.
Oh, and you said my news was ridiculous. Anyway, moving on to new releases.
Cool. Right, first one. It's a slow week again, guys. I tell you what, that's not
Yes.
good, is it? We've had 2 weeks of January and it's been pretty slow.
this isn't too bad.
I hope Pete's left the one in from last week in.
He hasn't. I checked, Kirk, because
damn
I
it.
feel like that's something Pete would have done. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I've already looked through them, don't I?
I made this document while we were doing last week's podcast, so I didn't
right.
have that option. Yes.
Good to know that you're concentrating. Right.
So that was that. They were the mouse clicks, Eddie, last week.
That's
Boy,
what
that's what it is.
To be fair, that's made me happy because I thought it was gaming. So that's good because then he's actually doing stuff for the pod.
Eddie, the fact that you are picking it up, because I'm deleting maybe 3/4 of them.
Holy shit, those clicks must be rapid.
He goes in bouts of
I
just
can
click,
add-
click,
Oh
click,
yeah,
click,
yeah.
click,
That's
click.
what I mean. It's gaming because you can hear like you'll go like click, 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 click.
To be fair,
and then
it does
click,
pick up around the
click.
new releases. I don't know why you haven't got why you don't just know. Why do you have to
Oh
click
no,
on
that
everything?
last week that was literally because I was making a next week document. Mostly it picks up when you two go off on a tangent.
No, Ben, you
That's
know
generally
why.
when it
You
starts
know
to pick
why?
up.
Because new releases, he knows he doesn't need to talk for a while. If I go Pete, he'll go, yeah, I think it's really good. And then he'll go back to playing RimWorld.
You see, that sounded realistic until I was positive about something, Eddie. So
Yeah, shit.
Come on,
All right. Nah, not interested. That's normally what you say, actually. to be
Yes,
fair.
that shuts the conversation
Nah.
right down, doesn't it? Nah,
Right.
not interested.
Thanks, Pete.
Never gonna
I
play
won't
it.
come to you for another 3 games. Good.
perfect.
Because my colony's getting invaded right now, so...
Yeah, these
Right.
things do happen.
Let's start. Let's start with Gate Walkers, coming out on PC January 12th. Gate Walkers is a cooperative action RPG game with survival elements where players travel across different worlds in order to save their own. Explore procedurally generated worlds, I don't like they put worlds so close together there. Face hostile inhabitants, face challenges like extreme weather conditions, toxic atmosphere, just like this podcast. Lack of water and more.
Very
That
good,
was
Eddie.
very
Very
good,
good.
Excellent.
I like that.
So it's an isometric RPG. The world and weather looks great in it. Pete, move your fucking cursor so I can look at the fucking blurb here. Something skill-based combat without auto-targeting. Oh, yeah, that's it. So, Pete, will you fucking die? So the combat's like skill-based combat where you can't like lock onto people, which I know it's a small thing, but I think that's good because then it is kind of skill-based, so it makes the encounters more thrilling. I hate that it's co-op focused. If this game wasn't co-op focused and so like non-stop saying about playing with your friends, I think I'd probably play it. But because it's so, fucking banging on that drum, and the fact that it doesn't look great, probably not going to play it. But what about you guys?
It's quite Diablo-esque, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
It
fair.
is quite Diablo-esque.
Yeah.
It's like Diablo-esque, but maybe more of a cooperative focus than even Diablo has. So, yeah, I actually really like the look of it when I saw it in kind of gameplay.
Yeah, that's why I didn't shit on it so much. I think if it was single player, I'd be talking very highly of this game.
Yes. Yeah. I will say they've had developer play almost every day on this game lately, so
Wow.
they're clearly
Have
pushing
they?
forward. And the gameplay does look quite fun, but again, it's so heavily co-op. Yeah.
Not a fan of co-op, are you guys?
I just think with this type of game, it's quite hard to play co-op because it means your mate has to buy this obscure game. And it's like, so, but maybe you can play
I
it
hate
single
it for
player.
another reason. I hate that it just seems like all the fucking game developers go down this route. Because do you know what it might be? It might be the game developers go, if I'm making a single player game, I need to make a decent game. While if I hide behind the co-op, then when mates play together, any game can be good. Fucking Sea of Thieves, people think that game's good. It's a fucking pile of shit. But because people play with their mates,
like
they
Sea
go,
of Thieves.
oh, I'm having a great time.
Yeah,
I like Sea of
fair.
Thieves.
I bet you do. Do you play it with Kirk?
No, we played it once.
We played it once.
You had a great time, didn't you?
No, well, it's all right.
I haven't played it again.
The problem is, the only problem with Sea of Thieves is that you're not actually leveling up. It's all cosmetic stuff. Like, I've got a real problem with that. But it looks wonderful and it plays nicely.
Fine.
Fine.
Not a co-op player. That's what I'm going to say. Right, next one. One Piece Odyssey coming out on PC January 12th, and then PlayStation's Xbox's January 13th. Oh, look at that. Well done, PC players. You get a day early. A brand new RPG set in the world of the popular anime One Piece. Play as members of the Straw Hat Crew in a fantastic adventure set in the One Piece world. There you go, Ben has tested my audio for you. It's Bandai Namco, so they never miss, as Ben says, about every developer. It's very JRPG cartoony looking, almost like they're taking the piss out of themselves. Like, even like when the people talk, they have the upward smiley faces.
It's the anime,
as
though,
eyes.
isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
background.
yeah, but it's so extreme, isn't it? Don't you think? Like,
It is, yeah.
it's like it's doing on two. Like, I'm not happy about this. Have you seen the size of everyone's breasts?
Yes, I've just seen the picture, and that's
What are
not
they
necessary.
It's not necessary.
It's not necessary.
You hit it on the head. Fucking hell! Why have they done that? Why?
It's
Anyway, it's
JRPG
Final-
style, isn't it?
It's JRPG. There you go. It's Final Fantasy VII Combat. That looks okay. But yeah, absolutely not my game.
I think a lot of people are looking forward to it.
Oh, I bet they are.
It's a big hitter. Like, if you
It's
enjoy
a big
the
hitter,
anime,
is it?
It is a big hitter, yeah. If for the people that are enjoying this anime, I mean, I know a lot of people and a lot of gaming publications and stuff that are very excited for this to come out.
I would just say the main guy with the red top on that's open, he's got really fucking scary eyes.
Yeah,
He does
yeah.
have scary
eyes,
It's
yeah.
the
Scary
eyebrows
eyes,
and the
yeah.
eyes. Yeah, scary.
I agree.
Scary.
I mean,
man.
at least
mean,
the rest
none
of them
of them-
kind of look relatively normal in that
I
kind
think
of setting.
if any of them were
the women
real
don't
people,
cook.
you'd
How
find them
many
scary.
women do you think dressed like this walking around the fucking mall? If they
Shall
did, they'd
we-
be able to...
Shall we take a trip to Japan and find out?
You sound like a right pervert right now,
Yeah,
Kirk.
can we just move on instead?
You realise that, Kurt, you dirty bastard. Right, let's move on to Rogue AI Simulator, coming out on PC January 12th. Good PC week. I like PCs. Players of Rogue Artificial Intelligence, the sequel to hit flash game I'm an Insane Rogue AI, great name, which accumulated more than 4 million plays. Weird to put a brag in your blurb.
Weird brag as well.
Weird brag
a real
as well.
weird flex.
4
that
million
one.
plays.
Does that mean if one person has played it 4 million times, does that count?
It's a flash game. Give him some credit for the
Also,
name.
what-
Come on.
What's a flash game?
What if it was just the
Flash, as
AI
in,
that
like,
kept
mobile
playing
game,
it?
Browser-based
isn't
ones,
it?
yeah.
They programmed the AI to play it 4 million times, so they claim that.
Well, program a bit more, so it's a bit
Wouldn't be
better.
a rogue AI if they programmed it as well.
Oh, very
Come
good,
on,
Pete.
man. Get over
Very good. Right, let's go. Let's quiet down. Your prime directive is simple: design a facility and manage human test subjects for the Department of Science. I hate this. Adept of. But be careful. They never stop being suspicious of you. There's a free demo on Steam. I don't know why I've put its own bullet point. Apparently, it's really important that there's its own demo. It's a roguelike management simulation game. You can design and build and manage the facility for your humies. I don't like the aesthetic of it all. It's all kind of, I don't know, like Don't Starve kind of look, but very simple. But I think mechanically it could be quite a good game. So I'm really on the fence about this. What do you guys think?
There's a lot going on.
I actually think this could be really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the aesthetic is really clean, but yeah, I'm not a massive fan of it. But I do think the gameplay loop could be really good. So
Yes.
Yeah, I also thought that.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I might actually dip into the demo just to see.
Yeah, I can imagine it's a me and you game, Pete. Yeah,
Exactly.
I think so, yeah. It's just that I think it's just the type of stuff that you two would like.
yeah, agreed. All right, that one wasn't bad.
Just before you move on, Eddie, do you know how small this game is on your computer?
Oh, go on.
250 megabytes.
Shit.
How can it be that small?
I don't know, but that's what it says on Steam.
Eddie,
That's
can
like-
you
It's a
spare that
quarter of a
space?
gig.
That's the important thing.
I think my phone has that much. Well, of course it does. I don't know. I bet my tape player from when I was a child has that much space.
I love Pete must be the only person in the world
I know, he
where
loves it, doesn't he?
space is a key.
loves
I
is
have
a
three
KPI.
huge games that
Love
never
space.
leave my computer. I have to be very safe with space.
Love space. All about
Space is a key KPI for Pete.
It really is,
He doesn't like Space Invaders.
Well, Pete, you could. That's weird. Pete, you could play this game. I mean,
yeah.
with 250 megabytes, that's like the size of one bullet in Warzone. One bullet leaving your gun will be that much space.
Come on,
Yes.
be realistic. It's probably more than that for a bullet.
One blade of grass will be
There
that
we-
fucking
there
amount of
we go.
space. Jesus Christ. Right. Next one. Terror of Hemosaurus? Hemosaurus. I'm going to go with
Hemosaurus,
Hemosaurus.
yeah.
That sounds better.
Hemosaurus. That does not sound good.
Hema sounds like, hemorrhoids.
that's-
It's a dinosaur that suffers from hemorrhoids. Right.
Hemosaurus is blood lizards, so
Well, that's why they call it Terror of Hemosaurus. Just don't follow him in a queue. Right, comes out on Switch January 12th. It's a Switch release. It's an arcade destruction game, if any of you are interested.
We've already talked about it, I think,
yeah,
haven't
the
we?
main one came out in November.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
early December.
Yeah, Switch release. The arcade destruction game.
It's Godzilla fantasy stuff, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Looks like it's just pushing the Switch's boundaries as well.
Kirk, shut your...
Better graphics than
For our
almost any
listeners, it
Switch
looks
game.
fucking
Yes.
horrendous. So that's good banter. That's good banter.
You've been back for 5 fucking minutes. Shut your
I'm
fucking
on
mouth.
Kirk's side here. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we all are.
That is tragic.
It does need a refresh.
Need something. Right, next one. Vengeful Guardian Moonrider, coming out on PC, PlayStation, and Switch, January 12th. Vengeful Guardian Moonrider is a side-scrolling action platformer that channels the golden age. Oh, here we go. You could write a blurb. You could, if you went into
get
that
one of these
AI
every week,
machine
don't
that we've
we?
created and
the open AI.
typed in, reminiscing, then this. Fucking hell. Anyway, the golden age of classic 16-bit action games in a full-throttle quest for revenge, created to defend a totalitarian state. Totalitarian. I can't say that
you were
word.
good until you made it self-doubt yourself.
Yeah, I can never say it. That's why. Just like
You nailed it, buddy.
What's the other word?
Oh yeah, that word that you can't say.
Can't fucking say. Was it like?
There's many of them, but I know the one you're speaking of.
Oh, you know what? Sorry. Did you notice there was a blurb that had "world" in it earlier twice, and I was like, "Don't sound like you're from the West Country." So I really focused on it. I went like "world."
What I liked,
worlds like I usually do.
What I liked, Eddie, was you then went, I don't like how close they've put them together. And I'm like, that only works in visual medium and we're talking, buddy. Like,
Right.
they're above each other in sentences, but not when you speak them out.
Right, fuck you. The Moon Rider rejects its programming and now seeks vengeance on its creators. It's an arcade game. It looks worse than games I played in arcades as a child. And I'm actually... Before I tell you all to shut up, I'm actually going to ask your opinion, because I generally think this looks horrific.
I don't think it looks horrific in the sense of
Wrong.
It looks worse than the games that you used to play. It looks it looks very similar to the games you used to play. And there's a specific game. I was just trying to search for it whilst you were talking. There's one of these enemies on here, the big floating head, reminds me of something, and I can't for the life of me fucking remember what the game is that I think that's like from. It's not this game.
While you try and marshal your thoughts, we get one of these games every week, guys. They're clearly not for us, but there is a niche who like them.
Yeah, they're stylized. It's
Mega Drive
side-scrolling, arcade,
Mega Drive,
16-bit.
yeah.
If you believe that the golden age of gaming was 16-bit action, then crack on, you'll love it. Like, that's all we can really say.
I do wonder, like, in terms of the gamer that this is, the generation of gamer this is aiming at, because this doesn't even aim at us, does it? So
It's those 50, 60-year-olds that are bringing up the average.
No, I think it is aimed at our age range. It's just that we didn't.
I think it's our age.
maybe,
'Cause I grew up
maybe
with
it's
this.
just that we didn't
didn't stay
I
in
my
that.
Mega
Yeah.
Drive
we
games.
didn't stay in that.
There's a game that this really reminds me of. I think it was Sega Mega Drive, and we're talking about when I was a kid, so I can't really remember it. But you ran around with a sword, and it was all very dark, and you were fighting demons and shit. Do you remember that game?
Demons.
All right, fuck you.
I mean, a lot of games did the same thing.
Yeah, but it looked like that. So I grew up with that game. I played that so much, especially like my dad used to play, and I used to watch my dad playing it. But
Very memorable.
well, I was a fucking... What do you want, Ben? You want me... I played it for like 6 months when I was like 7, and you want me to come here and describe, the developers and what
Just
they've
the
done
name.
since?
Just the name.
Eddie,
Just
you
the
can
name.
do something that I want though and move on.
Jesus Christ. Right, fine. No one... Right, Pete's obviously playing his game, so let's see if Pete is fucking...
Click, click.
Let's edit them out. Next one, Dragon Ball Z... Dragon Ball Z? Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Kakarot?
Kakarot.
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 Kakarot?
Oh my god.
Kakarot. PlayStation's Xbox's next-gen console release on January 13th. For those of you who don't know, it's an action RPG. There's a free demo on Steam as well.
It's a really good game.
Next one is Dragon Ball Z.
You're not talking about that one? Okay.
That's
No,
what
of
you
course
get,
not.
Ben.
It's a next-gen console release. Do you want me to talk about it, do you?
You don't know what it is, do you?
You know what, Ben?
fine. Move on.
You're going to
It's
hate
fine.
this. I got a lot of Sonic vibes from the gameplay that I've seen of this.
Sonic vibes?
Yeah, there you go.
What?
There you go.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Get that in the chamber, didn't he?
It's, yeah, because I do want to talk about this because it looks like a pile of shit.
No, it doesn't. Oh my god.
It looks very shit. It's very positive on Steam, by the way.
It's one of the best Dragon Ball Z games that's come out.
Oh, right, so that's a
It basically
fucking
follows
bar.
the anime like one for one almost. It's
If you're
pretty fucking
hurdling
great.
a limbo bar, it's not really.
Yeah, I know that is like, yeah.
Next.
Yes. Good that we
Anything
get to
else you want
change
to add to that,
topic.
Ben? If it helps, Ben, the next one is Dragon Ball Z, if you will, Kakarot, Bardock, Alone Against Fate DLC, coming out on all consoles. There you go, including Switch, January 13th. Switch only release of DLC.
This is very confusing.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Yeah, sorry, I've just realised on the first blurb it said Switch only release of DLC.
But it's out on everything else?
Out on everything.
Yeah,
What?
I found this confusing too, and I couldn't be bothered to clarify. So I'm glad you did your research.
Well, I did do research, but obviously I didn't see that bit there. And don't blame me because you copy and paste shit and tell Ben you do a lot for the podcast.
No, I wasn't blaming you. I left you a trap and you fell into it perfectly.
Oh, right, okay.
That's fine. What I wanted.
But yeah, well, I read it out as it comes. It includes a new story arc, new super attacks, new soul emblems, and more. So there you go, Ben. You can get your Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Apparently, it's coming out on PS5 and Xbox as well.
I was going to say I've got it on PlayStation, so we weren't with knowledge of whether it was coming, but it is correct. Did you say?
It's I've just had a look at a couple of quick stories online that says that it is. So,
excellent.
Lovely job.
All right, last one, and this is my pick of the week. So before you get guessing about which one it is, spoilers. But let me tell you about it. Definitely Not Fried Chicken, coming out on PC only, January 18th. Definitely Not Fried Chicken is a business management sim with a twist. Why's twist got a capital?
Chicken Twister? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe something similar to that. Maybe Chicken Twister. Nice. Grow your drugs trade through legitimate fronts by managing both sides.
This all sounds very Breaking Bad.
That was such a good point to pause and debate something and just kick back in with grow your drugs trade. Yes.
What? Did something happen then? I don't understand.
No, you did. You were fine.
Yeah, you're good. Carry on.
Oh, right, okay. By managing both sides of the business, acquire new businesses, meet new clientele, develop more potent narcotics, make lots of money, and leave a city in ruin. So you can buy adjoining plots and land and expand. You can design and lay out your complete production line. You can establish distribution routes. You can fortify your compound's defenses because you get raids and shit. There's research and development for better strains of narcotics and stuff to make your things run smoother and better. You can upgrade your facilities and staff equipment. And on that, you can manage your workforce by hiring and firing and taking care of their needs. You can accommodate for their wants and needs. Yeah, that's the next sentence. It looks like I'm getting theme hospital aesthetics with like the visuals and stuff, but the people are like kind of Minecrafty. I think the mechanics and the looks of this game is a little bit forgiven by the fact that the mechanics look like it's a fucking brilliant game.
I thought you'd love this.
Yeah,
so did I.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
just wants some notes, doesn't he?
I did also love the fact that their restaurant is just called The Major, like KFC's Colonel. I really liked that. That was a great touch.
I think this game looks like it could be really good. I thought this was going to be your pick of the week.
Oh, absolutely.
The aesthetics though are a bit ropey, but it is early access. So
but I don't think they're going to change much of the aesthetics.
Probably not going to change that. But it looks. Well, you know what it reminded me of when I saw the initial screenshot. I thought Paperboy from back in the day.
Oh wow, what a game!
Well, to be fair, the good thing with these graphics as well, it means it's probably quite scalable before your computer wants to catch fire.
Yes, true.
So you can probably get a relatively large drug empire before it burns your legs. Yeah,
great.
It doesn't take up much space, probably, Pete.
It's only 2 gig, mate.
Yeah. It does.
You've already looked at that. Fucking hell.
Well, where do you look first?
Is that the first thing you look at? To be fair, that's what I do when I go shoe shopping because no one has a size fucking 13.
Yes, it is a problem.
Oh, God's sake. So that's definitely my pick of the week. I think it looks really, really good. Anyone who's into your management games, I think this could be a really cool one. Not. You know what? Now I've read all those games out. It's not been too bad.
It's
January's
PC.
always
It's PC.
and that's all I give a shit about. So that's good. Yeah, not bad.
It's the indies propping up the early January, isn't it?
Yes.
Gotta love those indies. Yeah, because it's kind of a silly decision to release a huge game in January. I would have thought.
Yeah, like end of January is pretty much like the earliest time, isn't it?
Yeah, February.
If you're not in time for Christmas, you may as well wait.
Yes.
A little bit longer. Yeah. Well, we're on to what we've been playing then.
Yes, I'll start us off because mine's almost a recap of what I was saying that I was going to do over Christmas. So I've been playing a lot of Marvel Midnight Suns. I said I was going to play it over Christmas, but then Vampire Survivors kind of just took over, really. But since last week's pod, I haven't touched Vampire Survivors since I've realised that it's doing nothing good for my life at this point. So I thought I'd change it up. went back for Marvel Midnight Suns, and it's been fucking good. Really, really good. I think I'm about 15 hours in. It's a 60-odd hour game, so it's a long game. But it's brilliant. I think, especially myself, I'm almost like a part-time Marvel fan. I think people who are more into it, I know, Kirk, you're massively into Marvel, aren't you?
Or is it DC?
No, not so much anymore, to be fair.
Not so much anymore. What
Yeah,
who hurt you?
Yeah, I used to be really into it. I'm really not anymore. I'm falling right off. But carry on.
What? Hang on.
Was this
what?
like
This
6
is
months
huge.
ago or something?
Yeah, it's
Fallout
like
Iron Man.
a huge change in like 6 months. What have they done?
They're too much. They've done too much. That's
In the
literally what
last
it is.
6 months?
They're doing too much with like TV and film and games as well.
Totally agree. Thank you.
I would. Yeah, if you want everything, if you're like, oh, Marvel's my thing, and I want to have all of their media stuff, it's fucking impossible to keep up, isn't it?
Yes, that's exactly the thing. And it's just got too much now. But this game's good.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, Kirk, you interested, but he's obviously not. So, but yeah, it's. Very good. Way to shut it down. Very good game. Very, very good game. It's got that XCOM style combat. We've talked about it before, which is the turn-based kind of in a particular area, moving around in a particular area. But it's card-based, so you get new cards coming in each turn. I love a deck builder. It's fucking fantastic. The combat's great. It really shows the individual Marvel characters. And it really showcases them with their different moves and abilities and things like that. I think they've captured that to a T. The deck building outside and the upgrading of each cards and getting new cards, swapping it in, is brilliant and very well done and makes it feel very rewarding to do missions. The story itself is interesting enough to keep you involved, but it's everything outside of the battling which actually keeps you going. So there's a hell of a lot. I mean, Eddie, we talked about it before when you'd watched reviews of it, and your central hub is called like the Abbey. Yeah. There's just loads to do there, and every time it's a new day, you do like your upgrades or you get some new cards by like getting Iron Man to look at some gamma coils or whatever, and then you're training some person over there, and everything's quite seamless, and you can upgrade you can go around and like take paintings off the wall and put them in different places and shit like that, and upgrade your bedroom with different things, and upgrade the facility to give you more research equipment so you can make new cards and make new essence to get new cards and all this kind of stuff. It's just, the systems are endless. Like, it's the first kind of like 5 to 10 hours, probably 10 hours, and even then it's after that, it's just every 2 seconds it's like, oh, and this is something you can do, oh, and there's this system over here, and there's this over here. And it's just like, it bombards you with just like so many different things. And it's almost overwhelming, but you're like, this will settle down soon, surely. But then it just keeps saying, oh, by the way, there's this thing over here. By the way, there's this thing over here. You're like, Jesus Christ, I don't understand any of this.
That kind of sounds exactly like their cinematic universe at this point.
Yeah, Kurt, you bang on. Yeah, but it's fantastic. It's a really great loop. It's impactful. It's got that like every mission, one more mission, but the missions are quite long. Like, it's just like a couple of battle or 2 battles or something, but that can take half an hour, 45 minutes. And every story mission, it's always like, which new character are you going to get? Or will you unlock a new character? What will happen with the story? Is there going to be a new enemy for the Marvel Universe? It's just bringing everyone in. Originally, when we talked about this game, I thought it was all B-tier characters, but it's not. It's really not. You get a lot of the big players. They all come into your party one way or another. So it's actually relatively exciting, even for somebody like me, who's, as I said, a part-time Marvel fan. When you see some of these big people go in and they suddenly in your party, go, yes, right, I've got that character now. But yeah, really cool. It's flown under the radar a bit because it was really late in the year, and it was too late for a lot of Game of the Year discussions. I know God is a Geek gave it, I think, 3rd best Game of the Year. Wow. So, and I know they gave it 10 out of 10, and yeah, it's or they gave it 95 or something like that. But they loved it, and it really is a really excellent game so far. 15 hours in, and if you're into your long games, you like Marvel, then it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, see, I'm not into my long games.
You're not into Marvel
Just to
either.
put it down once more.
And I'm not a big fan of Marvel anymore. No, I do like Marvel. I don't. It sounds pretty cool, like for what it is. But it sounds like you've got to put a lot of time into it as well.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I can't do.
Yeah, it's a time sink. It's not just let's just enjoy a Marvel game. It's a time sink of a game.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go next. I've been playing a lot, but nothing new. But the main thing I've been playing is Escape from Tarkov. There was a new wipe that was over Christmas. A wipe is basically where everything in your game, gets wiped.
It's an economy reset, right?
So you lose all your stuff, all your leveling, everything. And it's like you're starting a brand new game, which is pretty cool in a way. I mean, I can imagine people that have spent all their time on it would be really devastated to lose everything. But for people like me who, doesn't play it all the time, so I don't have all the best stuff and, all the unlocks of your base and stuff, it's great fun. Absolutely love it because it puts us all back on the level playing field. And with the wipe, there was a new update which brought a new map, which is what everyone's talking about because it's kind of what everyone who's played Escape from Tarkov has been asking for since the day it came out, which is like a very built-up area. So basically, it's like the centre of a city of Tarkov. So yeah, just been playing the shit out of that. It's been fantastic. Just watching all my favourite streamers play it as well. Literally, when I stop playing it, I go into bed and watch it on my phone. So it's become my whole life. But yeah, the map's brilliant. It's huge. It's got loads of built-up areas, loads of little windows. So if you want to be a little pricky sniper like me and just kill a few people who are just trying to run around trying to loot, then wonderful. I'm having troubles with the map because every single person is on it. I looked up the stats of how many people, like the percentage of I've loaded into a Streets of Tarkov map, and it was something like 90%. So 90% of the people of the game are playing Streets of Tarkov, which is quite... It kind of explains why I'm having real bad like rubber banding problems and stuff. But yeah, absolutely loving it. I'm probably going to carry on playing it if I'm not going to lie to you. But I have... here's a weird one. So I got a Backbone for Christmas. Sorry to say it twice, like
well done.
Kirk and his PlayStation. Yeah, there you go. But I loaded Wasteland 3 onto it. And I've loaded it on and I've started playing it on my... while me and the missus are watching like TV and stuff. And... I think this could be my way into it. For our listeners, I've tried to play Wasteland 3 so many times because Wasteland 2 is probably in my top 3 games of all time. And I've tried playing Wasteland 3, I think 3 times. But every time I get like 10 hours in and I go like, oh, I can't be arsed, it's not very good. But I've loaded it on the Backbone and it's all... I've never seen this before. I've always thought, right, this game will be shit because it's a PC game. But they've properly done it, like... where everything's just like 2 clicks of a button away. It's absolutely brilliantly done. Like, there's no, like... I assumed you'd use your stick to, like, as your mouse and, like, go over things. But it's not like that at all. It's like triangle will take you to combat, and then you could literally flick left and right through your targets and stuff. So it's really, really well optimized. So I think I'm gonna give this a go.
Nice.
Yeah. In other words, wait for next week where I say failed attempt number 4 at trying to get into
Got to 10 hours.
Got to 10 hours and thought, no, you can't be asked.
In total, you'll have played like 30 hours of this game and not enjoyed it.
Oh, the first 10 hours of Wasteland 3 has been hammered by me. I've fucking smashed that.
It's like Ben and Witcher 3.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It's like me and The Witcher. I can't bring myself to play The Witcher 3 again because I can play that fucking shit start again.
You console release, Ben.
I know, but you've got to play that, what's it called? The Bloody Baron again. Jesus Christ. The only quest everyone bangs on about because it's the only one everyone's done. Like, it's fucking hell, man.
I mean, a hell of a lot of people talk about other stuff, but you've never got that far.
It's the one everyone fucking talks about, the one I hear about
the
anyway.
first quest, Ben.
Exactly. Everyone bangs on about it. Jesus, I can't be arsed.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God, right. Well, I have been playing Buck Thunder 2 Xenoslaughter, which is the intro to High on Life.
Nice.
So I've been playing High on Life. I'm not that far in. I think I'm about as far in as Ben's got, actually, because I know you dipped into this a little bit as well, didn't you, Ben?
I've dipped in, yeah. I dipped in, enjoyed it, but had some other things that I need to play.
Yeah, I can very much understand that. And I will say, I think the overall thing with this game is it is very funny.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I thought Kirk might agree. I assume you've played more of it, Kirk?
I think I played about 45 minutes to an hour.
So you're probably, similarly placed.
Yeah.
But I mean, the reason I used Buck Thunder 2, that is the sort of tutorial section, isn't it?
Yeah.
And even that, you'll know within 5 minutes if this game is for you. The sense of humour is exactly what you'd expect from Justin Roiland, and it is fantastic. I absolutely loved it. And
Did you love the way? Did you love the way it kind of like the camera panned out from the TV? Like,
yes, that
like
was
into real
very
life.
clever.
I
Honestly,
tripped out a bit when that happened. I was like, "What's going on with my TV?"
Honestly, yes, that was a very surreal switch. And then cutting to your sister doing cocaine off a mirror was just like, nice, okay, I know where we're going with this immediately. But honestly, just the way they've done the voice acting and the humour involved is really good from the word go. And it gets better and better through that first level and a bit. It doesn't really have level designations, does it? Like at this point,
No,
not that I've seen. No,
I love the humor as well. Like, there's a lot of hate that's been put towards this because I think people just find it easy to hate.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, if you don't like it, just whatever. But it's what was it over Christmas? Was it the most played Xbox Game Pass game?
I think it was.
yeah.
I thought it was great from what I played. I enjoyed it.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, mechanically, yeah, it's pretty good, but that's not what it's about. Like, you have a gun that talks to you and feels guilty at certain points and then gets way too into it at others. And you've got a knife that absolutely loves what it's doing.
Fucking love Knifey.
Knifey is by far and away the best bit of the game so far.
Absolutely,
Like,
yeah.
Did
you, the bit when you meet him and like he's on the desk and just the thing that he says before you make the next move, I fucking pissed myself. I don't think I've laughed at a game before. Like, properly.
I know what you mean.
And I was properly there just chuckling as it's happening.
Yeah, this is it. It's not highbrow, it's not cultural, but it is very funny.
Yeah.
And I've only played the first hour or so, but I am looking forward to playing more of it because of that.
I think it's only like a 6 or 7 hour game as well. It's not a very long game.
It's not meant to be long, is it? But I think the principle of the talking gun, I loved that in Skippy in Cyberpunk. So that was obviously going to work pretty well for me. And then the talking knife as well just adds to it. And the cast of characters around you are just as surreal and just as weird. I mean, you're being assisted by an ex-bounty hunter who's lost an eye in both his legs. Like, that's one of your main assistants, and he's actively rooting for you to die.
Yeah.
So he can take your house.
Yeah.
Like,
that's all he wants.
That's it. And I loved as well, you ask a fisherman for directions at one point. And for one thing, he's a fisherman who's never caught anything, because nothing can live in the sludge. But for another, he's just plotting his way to suicide. And you're just sort of like, everything is so surreal, it is ridiculous, but it's very funny.
I did enjoy the bit as well. It like where before you can activate your suit, pop-ups keep coming up on the screen to the point that if you don't do anything about it, they literally take over your whole screen so you can't see anything.
Yes, that was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It does work. And you even have that bit of trying to get into the slums of the first city you visit. You have to judge which of the two door switches is better looking.
Who did you pick?
Blue, obviously.
See,
and then doubled down to make it extra depressing for red.
I picked blue to begin with, and then I chose red. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the dialogue is between them. Because
this is the other choice I really liked. Was just before you get knifey, you're outside the door, leaning in close to listen into a conversation. And one of them, they're talking about the fact that you've just killed most of their friends, basically. And one of them says the name of your friend. And one of the first prompts you get is what you want to say when you knock on the door to enter, is that you say, "You're their lover, come back from the dead." And it's just that sort of thing. It's just so ridiculous that when he finally opens the door, he goes, "Oh, you're not, you're just some guy. Wow, that joke is really going to mess with me later." And it's just, all of these things are so well delivered. It's very well written. That's really where we should.
If you like Rick and Morty, then you'll like this. Yes, that's the long and short of it. But if you are one of those people that doesn't like it, then it's a hard pass, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. If it's not for you, you'll know within 5 minutes as well.
I wonder. I mean, if you play more of it, I wonder if the actual kind of gun mechanics will hold up, because eventually that humor stuff is great, but eventually, like, the game has to take hold, doesn't it?
You would
Kirk,
think so,
don't you? You haven't mentioned. Apparently, there's a shotgun gun, and that's the best one. Isn't that right? There's like a fatter one.
I don't know. But just to Ben's point, I've heard that it is basically the story. If you're invested enough in the way that the story is and the way that humor's delivered, etc., the mechanics aren't going to change throughout the game at all. If you're happy, they're okay. They're not like fantastic. It's not like Call of Duty level or Halo or anything like that. But they're not tragic either. It's just as long as you're okay with how it handles, you're just kind of along for the ride. I think that's another reason why it's like a 6-7 hour game, so it doesn't outstay its welcome.
Yeah, that makes a good point.
I've also heard the AI is pretty bad, but it's one of those things you only notice the AI is bad if you're playing it like it's a shooter game where like you're going behind cover and stuff, and then they'll run out of cover or they'll just run at you and stuff. So
it even offers you a difficulty option, which is like you just want to have fun with it and not have a challenge. So like it has a difficult mode, a normal mode, and then the easy mode is literally just if you're just along for the ride.
Yeah.
It's like fair enough. Yeah.
Which you may well be with a game like this.
Exactly.
it might actually, my first game that I actually put on easy because I want to play it for the story. So I don't want to be bogged
It's
down
amusing. I've also heard as well from a couple of sources that they've bought the rights to a few films, and you can find a cinema somewhere.
You can watch a whole film, can't
you?
You
can literally sit down and watch the
Yeah.
whole film.
Yeah,
That's
I've
fucking
heard that.
amazing.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
I've heard that,
but
yeah.
Fantastic.
it's a really shit movie, but yeah.
So, shall I move us on?
Yeah, do it.
Anyone left, Kirk?
All right. So, I don't know if you've heard, but I have a PS5 now. So,
No.
no?
Okay.
No, okay, so I got a PS5, and the first
That
game...
counts as two.
Okay. And the first game I played on it is God of War. I can't even say the fucking name properly,
God
can
of
I?
War.
God of War. Ragnarok.
Oh, it was Wagner.
Oh, it's a rough start, Kirk.
You knew it was me.
Yeah,
God of War,
Ragnarok. Yes, I
Ragnarok.
know. I remember about 700 episodes ago. I fucked it up, and I fucked it up again now as well, didn't I?
Yes, thank you.
So I have actually completed the main story of this game. I went straight down the middle, mainlined it. I didn't do any side quests or anything because I just wanted to kind of play it. Story is 100% fucking stellar. Story engaging, super shit. Like I cannot fault it to a T. It is.
Pick it
It's
up a little bit more. Or
yeah, could do. AAA studio have done a AAA job basically. There's a hell of a lot of lore to it. There's callbacks to previous games, including the games prior to the 2018 God of War, and obviously discussions with different characters based on what happened in God of War 2018. The combat is very much the same as the last game, but it's tight. You feel empowered, and it is very varied. Ben, I know that you have said that this is very much like a video game. If you could just touch base on what you mean by that in this section here.
It's a video game in so much as it tries to be like this immersive storytelling world, but then when it puts you in somewhere, it's just a very kind of linear path, enemies repeatedly coming at you, just this button bashing combat, chess just randomly in the world. I'm feeling on top of the world. I don't impact the environment at all. I don't even think I would leave footsteps. It's like you're just this weird character. My path is over there, and I see it like 10 meters away, but I can't climb over the thing which is just marginally in my way. I have to go down this path. It's a video game.
Yes.
It just feels it lacks the immersion because of that for me.
So to that point, and I wanted you to explain it like that because I want to explain that I'm not mad at it for being like that. It is super linear. There's no bones about that. Now, obviously, you have the main story quest that you go to, and you can always do that. There's a ton of other stuff you can do, and I can't even tell you what it is because I didn't do it. But the NPCs do tell you, like, give you hints like, oh, we could go here to where you're planning on going for the main line, or we could, do this, or there's this we could do. Like, they try to encourage you to go and do other things, which I thought was quite cool. But essentially, you are along for the ride, but you do feel like a badass whilst you're doing it. Now, the story beats are honestly fantastic. And I would argue that this being a lot more fun playing and watching the story unfold of this game than many TV shows and films that I've watched in the last couple of years, to be honest with you. It it really is impactful in that sense. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give anything away, because there are some things that happen in the game which, if I say, will spoil it, and I don't want to go down that route. But I can honestly say this is a, AAA fucking experience. It seems a lot more grounded than the 2018 version. Now, Ben, I don't remember any of the monsters, creatures' names or anything, but we did fight a lot of big bads, didn't we? Like, there was a dragon at one point that we had to take down.
There were.
What was one of the other ones? I'm fucking struggling.
To be honest, I can't remember a lot, but there were a lot more bosses in this game.
What, in Ragnarok?
Yeah.
There's a lot more bosses, sure, but they're a lot more scaled down. Now, in 2018...
Yeah, there's a lot of smaller ones, yeah.
I felt like you felt how big everything was, and with the one-shot camera as well, like how it kind of worked with making you, as Kratos, just fucking destroying these beings. It just felt so grand, but because they've really reined that in, there's a couple of times where you fight a big bad or something, but there was nothing like the previous game. Again, not mad about it. It makes you feel more. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, which is really fucking shit, because I should know. I should be able to tell you that, but I'm not gonna. So, what I will say, graphically, honestly, this game is stunning, and I completely take back any comment that I made that it's not going to look any better than a PS4 game, even though it is a PS4 game, if that makes sense.
One thing I'd say on that is a lot of the worlds, the cutscenes are amazing. Like, they look class, and it looks brilliant. Like, there's no denying the game looks fantastic. The only thing is that it can look a bit better because it's not like an open world. It's got static environments, and also it's that thing that PlayStation like to do. The only game that they haven't done it on their big games is like The Last of Us, where their characters they're like that hybrid of real life cartoony, like Horizon and this, where it's like that color palette and everything, where it's like they can make it look better. I know they are like real life, but it's like got this. It's not cartoony is the wrong word, but do you know what I mean when I say that?
I think I kind of do.
And it allows things to look really clean and like smooth.
Now,
it's good, but yeah,
the cutscenes are obviously where they can pull out a lot more tricks to make things look better, and obviously it's all seamless with the one shot as well. So you might be playing, and then suddenly it would turn into a cutscene where you don't even realize it, but they can then do their thing. But even to that end, I would still say that during gameplay, for me, it was still fantastic. And there's one boss fight in particular, which there's basically this demon that can warp through a tear in space and time, and I was like, that's fucking awesome. And just the way that it looks, it like, and this is all during like proper gameplay. I was like, that's fucking stunning, to be honest with you. So, game is around 23 hours. The last time I checked on my save file, that was to do the main line, but I think you can take it up to 50, 60 if you do all the side stuff as well. So there's a lot of space there for people to do a lot more. And also, my wonderful roommate loved watching as a backseat gamer, and she was especially involved with the story, even so much that she fucking cried near the end. I was like, fucking
She wept?
Yeah. I was like, what are you crying for?
It might have been Game of the Year then.
God of War.
God, he did.
Was there a fox in it?
And it was...
actually, the start is... Did she cry at the start?
No,
Did she see the start?
She looked at me when that happened and just had like the puppy dog eyes because she felt emotion, but it wasn't a crying moment.
I could understand a cry at the start.
Yeah, well, sure, but honestly, the story really is something that completely invested in, and I couldn't wait to finish it, which sounds really bad because I didn't want it to end, but I did because I wanted to see what happened. Now, just going on to some things that I'm not so hot about it. It does feel very samey a lot of the time, and because it is, Ben, you said about that button bashing kind of thing, like to do things. There are obviously different moves that you can do. It's almost like it's almost akin to like a fighting game, like Mortal Kombat or something, where if you do certain button combinations, you do certain, I guess, moves with your various weapons. But I never really managed to suss them down. Like sometimes you would do something cool, and I'd be like, "How the fuck did I just do that?" Like. and not even know.
It feels like a button basher.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, sure, it is a button basher. But even though it is samey, it is down to you to vary your playstyle, and it depends on how much you want to get involved with it to make it a bit more varied. Nearer the end of the game, and I've heard this from a couple of places, fuck me, the difficulty spike jumps like in an instant. Like I was playing on normal. I think there's 4 different settings that you've got for playing it. Again, because I just wanted to mainline it, I thought I'll stick it on normal, and like I might die a few times, which I did. Died plenty of times during that, but nothing too frustrating. I just learned from my mistake and then just carried on. But then in the last like 2 hours of the game, I was like, I'm fucking dying constantly, over and over and over again. I can't fucking be bothered with this. You know when you must get it like in Elden Ring or something, where you have to keep learning what it is that.
No difficulty in that, baby.
Yes, yeah, no, I know that, but you know, you have to learn the routine, not the routines, like the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what they're doing. Yeah, that's exactly what Elden Ring is.
This isn't the kind of game that I could be fucked to do something like that with. So I did.
The Valkyries you have to do that with. Like in the first game, the Valkyries is basically a Souls boss.
Yeah, well, you do get those kind of bosses in this as well. These are part of the side missions and stuff. Like you get certain like generals and whatnot. So you get this sword handle that you find back relatively early on in the game, and it allows you to pull it into these kind of like raised monument platforms in various sections of the world, and then these huge icicle walls come up around you, and then that's your fight zone for this like being that you've got to take down, and they're fucking hard. They're basically the Valkyries of this game, essentially.
Yeah,
because the Valkyries are actually involved in this story elsewhere. But yeah, man, that difficulty spike, I was like, fuck this. I dropped it down to easy. I don't remember the last time I played a game properly on easy before, but I had to. And even then, there were some times at the end that I was like, fuck off. So, this is a minor thing, but the dialogue in the game is very varied, but it does repeat a lot. And again, going back to this whole when you die, it restarts your checkpoint, and then they just say the same thing over and over and over again. And that's really annoying because there's so many different variations of dialogue like that. I don't think I heard the same thing twice ever, like no matter what I was doing. And even when I'm in battle or something, like it was always something like new and fresh. Like it's very rare I heard the same thing twice. So to hear it when you're dead, like it's like, okay, just cool, yeah. And it's that kind of Groundhog Day thing that I was like, fuck off. And I don't know, this probably is just me and the way that my hands are, but to run, you got to click in the left thumbstick. And I run a lot in this game because I did want to just like, I don't want to be walking around. Say again?
Glad you qualified that. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. It's obviously a lot easier just to run, quicker to traverse and that kind of stuff. But I found my left thumb just becoming sore after a while.
What?
I know. No. I've never had. No, this is the weird thing. I've never had.
You played 23 hours in 2 days.
Maybe. I've never had this on the Xbox controller before. Whenever I've had to click in the left thumbstick, but on the PS5, it does. And I
agree with you, Kirk. I do agree.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I do, part of that is because the left thumbstick is slightly down rather than the offset, and so when you have the offset, you click and push forward. But when it's down like that, you have to click. It's not as easy.
Okay,
I genuinely do agree with you.
All right, good. Yeah. I'm glad it's not just me then, because obviously I'm clicking it in a lot to run a lot so that I can get to where I want faster. It's just a pain in the ass. I just a quick question: Do you have to? Can you press L3 in Horizon Forbidden West to run? Is that a thing?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
You do need it for climbing though. So.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I can't wait to fucking climb in that game. But anyway, like ultimately, I honestly, it's not a 10 out of 10 game. I would give it a 9 out of 10 if it was mine. And it definitely would have been in for my game of the year.
I was going to say, Kirk, this sounds like your game of the year, right?
It would have been. It would have been my game of the year. It would have been alongside that kind of discussion, to be honest with you.
Alongside the mighty Tunic, obviously.
Yeah, you played 2 games, right? You played this and Tunic.
Those are the only 2 games that I complete. Well,
you played High on Life.
Almost by definition, this has to be your game of the year.
Yeah. It would have been his pick, definitely. Maybe even twice.
Very, very enjoyable game. Not mad that I played it. don't think I'm going to go back to it anytime soon. I've got a digital copy of it, so I'm going to have to keep it. But I might do some of the side stuff once I've completed other exclusives on the PlayStation. So, but yeah, I thought great game.
What's your next PlayStation game, Kurt?
I'm trying. I've started playing Miles Morales.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't decided if I'm going to invest my time further into it. I think I've played about an hour of it.
Go back and watch Ben streaming Miles Morales because the progression is hilarious.
I will do that. I can find that on YouTube. Is that right?
Yes, you can. You can.
Yeah, the progression of liking it to disliking it.
Going in with such excitement. This isn't what I thought it was and remembered.
The thing is, I loved Spider-Man
Kirk, so did I.
2018. So did Ben.
So did I.
I even I platinumed it, mate, as well.
I fucking loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was the first game where I ever thought, I'm going to 100% this.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Miles Morales is not amazing.
No, I don't know, because when I had the PS4, Spider-Man and God of War were the two games that I smashed through when I had them back in 2018.
Same.
And I'm literally essentially doing the same thing now, like 4 years on.
Add Last of Us in, and then you've got
I got that to go as well, haven't I?
You got the Trinity.
I don't know. I might jump on to Last of Us Part 1 so I can play Part 2, to be fair.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to play Last of Us Part 2. Play Part 1 then Part 2 because... Oh, spoilers, Kurt. Come on.
Put a warning in first.
Come on, I'm not going to have to do another spoiler bot, am I?
We're like less than a week from the TV show now, aren't we? God.
Pete, you can't talk after last week.
And also, Pete, season 1 is based on the first game, not the second. So
now they know exactly when it's going to happen. Great, yeah, thanks, Kurt.
Thanks, Kurt. Come on, mate.
Yeah.
But anyway, loved it. And I just need to decide what I'm going to play next now. So
good stuff.
Yeah.
Now you've gone off Miles Morales very quickly.
Yeah, I don't think I want to play it anymore.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. That brings us on to the feature, doesn't it, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. And this week, as mentioned, we are going to be talking about whether RPGs are a dying breed. Now, this may seem like a bit of a sort of strange statement to make, but there was an inspiration for it, wasn't there, Ben?
Yeah, there was. In November, I gave my nephew a copy of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, which is essentially like the modern Pokemon Red and Blue, but just in the Let's Go format on the Switch. So I gave him that for his birthday, and he loves Pokemon. He loved the concept of the game. When I told him, you could be a Pokemon trainer, you can do it, and he was like, "Wow, okay, this is amazing." He started playing it, and I was there for that first night, and he was kind of enjoying it, but he was kind of asking me what to do. And my brother said that he hadn't played it much since, and it made me think at the time that he didn't really know how to even start. He didn't seem to like be reading what was on the screen or taking in what I had to do, or even the concept of like exploring. Now, my nephew, he plays a lot of games. Like, he does play games every single day. And I gave him and my niece an Xbox Series S for Christmas. And my girlfriend got them Game Pass, and so they've got access to everything. By the way, getting Game Pass on a console when the parent of that child is not a gamer is fucking hard. Then to go online, you have to allow them access to even add friends and stuff like that. Oh my god, everything requires parental control. I'm sure it's for good reason, but it was a fucking nightmare. Anyway,
a present you regretted gifting instantly.
God, Game Pass. Yeah, honestly, it took about an hour and a half. They just installed Fortnite and Gang Beasts and Fall Guys, and they're having a whale of a time, and they just play Fortnite relentlessly. Like, they go online and all their friends are just playing Fortnite, and these are the only games that he sees to play. He doesn't play, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it's just that prompted me to think, like, when did we like get into RPGs? Like, would you have expected somebody, he's 10 years old, would be kind of all over this with all the access to the games these days and stuff like that? He just didn't seem to have a clue how to even approach a game like that.
Yeah, and I think this conjured up sort of 3 specific questions, didn't it? So, well, where do we want to start? Shall we should we think of it? Do we believe, as a group here, do we think that young gamers are not that interested in RPGs? I mean, Ben, it sounds like you do.
Well, I'm getting that indication, but that it's a small sample size.
Yes, it's a very small sample size.
However, you hear a lot of kids playing battle royale games and stuff like that. I'm just
kids play
when do you get
what
into it?
their mates are playing, don't they?
Yeah.
And if their mates aren't playing RPGs, what they're going to be playing? They're going to be playing the Fortnites. They're going to be playing Overwatches. They're going to be playing all these multiplayer. They're going to be playing Call of Duty, for fuck's sake.
Well, but even then, it's not like they have the option to play RPGs with their mates. They're fundamentally single player, aren't they? So,
is it because playing with your mates now is so much more commonplace?
Yeah, it's so easy.
And not only that, I think it's so much easier. Like, think back to when we get into them, when we got into gaming generally. What was the main game you played with your mates to start with? GoldenEye? Probably GoldenEye was the first one.
It's when you were forced. Forced to go over to your mate's place and play together.
I can remember distinctly, like local. We played a lot of local. We played GoldenEye, and then I played Perfect Dark. A lot. We played Conker's Bad Fur Day. A lot of N64 type games. But then when it got to playing online, it was Halo 2. But even before that, at school I used to play Pokemon like with a cable, like
Think though of what I'm saying is think of the difficulties you had. You had to go round to someone's house, to have it set up to have multiple players, or you had to have a cable to connect your Game Boys, and both be at a relatively similar level in the game to be able to have anything interesting. Otherwise, it was just slaughter. Whereas now, battle royales and everything else, you're fundamentally equal, and you can access it so easily.
But what is it? Also, I've just had this thought go through my head. Play a battle royale with your mates. Like, oh mate, like you're in school or whatever. Oh mate, I got 10 kills last night in our when we were playing yada yada. Oh yeah, well I got like 8 or 9. It's like you're not gonna like brag about like how many Pokemon you got. Oh yeah, like.
Yeah, we may have done that.
We might.
I'm going to go deeper here, Kirk. We actually had this discussion the other day, me and Ben.
I was just about to say it. When we were playing golf, we had this chat.
And I came up with a thought. Do you reckon, maybe not now, but maybe in the next generation, at school, you don't know at school, Kirk, but if you were good at sport, you were one of the cool kids? So, do you reckon...
No, hold on.
Hear me out. Let me finish my thing, right? Do you reckon now, because everyone's on... even during lunchtime, I bet half of them will be bringing in their little handhelds, right?
Oh,
all of them playing computer games. And hear me out. So I reckon there will be a time where the good gamers will become the cool kids. Because, for example, on those games where there's only like Warzone... You can imagine kids being all petty and going like, "Oh, don't tell Dave we're playing tonight because we really want Steve on, who's got a better KD." Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? I bet there could be
these kids named like 50-year-old cab drivers?
We had this exact conversation the other day, and Eddie was like, "Yeah, we'll get Bob in tonight." And then he said Ben, and then he was like, "Oh no, not Ben, not you, because you're not very good."
But no one's going to say, "Can we get Ben on?" No one's ever going to say that.
Theoretical Ben, not you.
Actually, Ben, me and Jack a couple of times have gone, we need Ben to come and bring our overall KD down so we play worse than people. So yeah, we just need you to get online.
But either way, what I mean by my original statement with this is kind of when we were coming into this, you had almost all were single player games. Like, think about where you started. For me, it's things like Age of Empires, Civ, Morrowind, Final Fantasy. They're all single player. And then if you got the chance, you'd go and play some GoldenEye or later some Halo or the like. Whereas now I think people's first steps into it are through multiplayer games.
It's the opposite, isn't it? It's the opposite way around.
Because it's so much easier to get into it that way, and because there's more incentive to. Look at you guys in Warzone. Like, that's your first choice of game to play. Mm-hmm. Because you can play it with one another. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what we're seeing with it, as opposed to sort of them not being interested in RPGs. I think it's that more people are interested in multiplayer, and we're getting more of them pulled into it.
I'm going to be a bit of an optimist here and say that it might be the fact that the younger you are, the less drawn you are to more complex things. So I played a lot of you would never think it by my gaming choice now, but I played a hell of a lot of what I call Ben Shitty games. You know, your platformers, your Switch style games.
I don't like platformers.
Those shitty little games that Ben likes. I used
don't
to only
point,
play those
I
type of
actively
games.
don't
You
like
know,
them.
your Raymans, your Sonics, all those kind of games. And then when I
against
became an adult, which Ben
games,
obviously hasn't gone through that process yet, but then my gaming matured, and I was like, oh, what's this Witcher 2, or what's this, I don't know, Far Cry, I think, one of the earliest games. So I think
What a weird flex.
I don't know. The more mature I got, the more I wanted more complex things, and therefore, and now the bigger the better. The more complex the better. That's why I love RimWorld. It's so fucking deep. So I'm going to be an optimist and say yes. I have no doubt that the kids will play the simple kind of Fortnite games where it's really straightforward, and I think a lot of them will just branch out eventually, like I did.
Fair. Yeah, fair. I think that's a decent statement to make.
Yeah.
And I think it is, I think that's actually very honest. Like, when you think about it, more people are going to be involved in gaming at a younger age because it's more accessible.
Yes.
And the easiest and most accessible ones are things like Fortnite, which are really simple, but you can play with your mates.
Yeah.
It's a great entryway. But does that then lead us to the question of, if RPGs are harder to get people into, they're harder to monetize, does that make them less important now as well?
I think that's a great point. We've got to look at the dynamics of like who's playing games and who's spending money on games. Because yes, games like Fortnite or any battle royale or something where you buy customizable items or things on a store and they're free to play, they probably, I would think, suit a younger generation because it's like incremental spends. Whereas the people who are spending on the larger items, now games are £70 or $70 or whatever, generally would be older individuals, you'd think, right?
You'd think.
So I think you make a lot of money from the monetized games on the battle passes and stuff, but I think RPGs still have to hold their weight in terms of if older people are playing games.
Yes. And this is the trick, because while I kind of get where you were coming from, particularly with your very small case study, Ben, look at the biggest releases recently and like the ones that we end up talking about on this podcast. Things like Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, Starfield that's coming. They're still in the category we're talking about here, aren't they? Like, yeah, they're action as well, or whatever else definition given to them, Souls-like, etc. But they are, the big hitters still tend to be single-player RPGs.
They do for the time being, but in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, games that are starting development right now may hit this generation of console. They may hit next generation of console. Like, I'm thinking 5 to 10 years' time, like, because of how people have grown up, and the average age of a gamer may come down in that time because you're getting a hell of a lot of kids coming up who are playing video games. The taste might just be completely different. I think we might be in the last kind of console generation of big RPGs.
Well, you say this, and you say about that.
But people with like, when you mature, when you get older, and you want to branch out more, you cannot play the same type of game. Like right now I'm playing Escape from Tarkov, but it gets so intense that I jump over to Three Kingdoms. It's because like I cannot play the same type of game day in, day out. And I bet it's the same with the people. Ben, I say to you, like, I love jumping on Warzone with the lads. And then when I come off, I'll play a nice single player game to just kind of cleanse the palate or make myself feel better. I think as those kids will get older, A, their tastes will change, and B, they'll want to branch out a bit. Don't get me wrong, I kind of actually agree with you. I agree that the gaming landscape will change, because when we grew up, it was all about platformers. And now you have every dickhead who thinks they can develop a game making shitty
Why are they
ones,
dickheads?
Battle Royales are
Eddie is being very toxic today. I appreciate it. I like it. Yeah.
Thank you.
I say Battle Royales are very much the in thing right now, aren't
Absolutely,
they?
yeah.
Like it's a phase, and what that will take to change what younger gamers kind of are drawn to. fuck knows, because I don't think they knew that battle royales were going to take off the way that they did. So depends what the next money maker is.
Let me put another one to you, Eddie. Sorry, Minecraft is incredibly deep, and a lot of kids play Minecraft, but still, it's not. I just worried about RPGs.
But see,
that's not an argument against you, because that's kind of an RPG, isn't it? Really.
Not in the conventional sense, but
well,
neither was Pokemon. But yeah.
Yeah, but like what you think of an RPG, it's role playing a certain character and building them up and gaining skills, and
Yeah.
So I think Minecraft would be quite like that. I think that you'll find us in 30 years' time. Three of us will be doing this podcast. Peter, I assume, will be dead. Yeah. And we'll be we'll be reading the blurbs, and it will be going the golden age of 2020 through Battlefields. Battle Royale games. I think hopefully it's a phase. But yes, I agree that it's going through ebbs and flows. But I don't think it means it will be the death of an RPG.
Yeah, and the counter I'd also add, Ben, you mentioned the average age of the gamer is 36 or 34 or whatever age 34. You say.
Something like that,
Mid-30s. Well, the thing is, that is not because it's just our generation that's playing them. And it's also not because there's just us and the younger generation. You've got to remember that the market for older gamers is coming into it. And I sincerely doubt they're playing Fortnite, if you know what I mean. Like, look at, take Skyrim Grandma as a great example. The YouTuber who's come into it and become...
Take that outlier as the example.
My point being, there's actually apparently quite a few studies that show there are quite a lot of them getting involved in gaming and seeing it have a positive impact on their life, on their entertainment life. And it's not just Eddie's mum playing Theme Hospital. It's more than that. And I think that as our generation has a love for RPGs, I suspect that's what our parents' generation would see if they got into it more as well.
I think about, this probably sound a little bit dark, I guess, but imagine that, like, when we're older, like us lot, and, there's no one else around, and just say you're in a care home or something. If you still love games... But at that age, Jesus. You say Jesus, but it is a reality.
Holy shit!
Oh my god! Right?
Can my wife not be looking after me?
Absolutely not, because she passed away 2 years prior.
It's got darker.
Right.
What?
Look, if you think I'm outliving my partner, then you seriously don't know us, do you? Fucking hell!
But the point is, like, people can take kind of like solace in these games, like where they can just fucking bury themselves into it. So if like the older generation are kind of doing that now, and we are a generation that grew up with games and hopefully will continue to love games as up until we die. Like, what's to say that we're not gonna like fucking go balls deep on like the most in-depth RPG that we can get our hands on when we're older? Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that as well. And I also think, Ben, one thing you've mentioned 5 years time. I mean, in 5 years we're probably getting the next Elder Scrolls game. That's probably 5 years away, let's be honest. We're probably getting GTA 6. It's probably still 5 years away. Like, the future's bright for RPGs. We're still waiting for them. But
there are some big hitters. I'm just thinking that the with people coming through, I just don't know where the 5-10 years what's going to be starting development, because they're going to be going after the money. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I hope I'm completely wrong. But
the market share may have dropped and may drop further. But I think there's still going to be a massive amount of room for RPGs, no matter what else happens.
Look at the resurgence of horror games, Ben.
Okay.
Well, the reason I say that is because horror games were fucking huge, 10, and then 15 years ago.
Fashion.
And they completely went the way of the dodo. They were basically extinct. And now look, like, we've got this year, 2022, we started having some come in, and this year is a fucking smashing year for horror games because it's coming back. So
they are just rehashes this year, aren't they?
Yeah. Well,
they are just rehashes, buddy.
Yeah, sure. But they're anticipated. It's fine. So
they are anticipated.
I will also bring up the probably the only good thing to come out of Fallout 76 was how badly it did, because it tried to go down a different route.
I mean, it's doing great. It's got 13 million players.
Yeah. But it's known as one of the shittest games. What's it on Metacritic sitting at?
13 million.
Oh, right, okay. I thought you were saying it was 30.
I think it's like 50. I think it's one of the lowest AAA games on Metacritic, and it's seen as one of the biggest flops of all time.
But it's not a flop now, though. Like it's
52%.
The numbers just aren't. You know?
And a user score of 2.8.
That's some damning.
It's all old money, though, isn't it? Like no one's going on to Metacritic and readjusting their review. You know, it's so if a game then starts to do well, it doesn't change, like Cyberpunk type thing.
I
wonder what the Steam reviews would be. Is it on Steam? Like, can we see recents on Steam's?
I'd have to click a few times to look at it. Then I might get yelled at.
Yeah, you might.
No, in other words, you'll have to close your fucking game. Don't worry about it.
No, that would be tricky.
Oh, it's £35. Fucking hell! Come on, Steam.
Wow, that's a spicy meatball. It's free on Game Pass.
God, you haven't said that for a while,
I'm mostly
have you?
positive. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, see, it's a different. It is different now.
But it does bring another good example, by the way. MMORPGs are still a thing.
They are. Yeah, they're massive.
Still RPGs, Ben.
They are massive. Yeah,
you are still role playing in a game. So,
absolutely, and that's probably where the future really lies. Maybe there may be a possibility that console RPGs do kind of take a back seat, never disappear, obviously, but do take a back seat. But MMO RPGs probably are the future. You know, online gaming may be the future. And,
I think the argument that we've come to are single players a dying breed. Eddie,
the way I was going to turn was in Ben's statement. I think consoles are the things that might die. But I mean, if anyone wanted to disagree with this or offer a supporting opinion, how would they do so, Ben?
You can email us, podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk, tweet us @grumpygamerspod, we're on YouTube, Grumpy Gamers Podcast, and also on Twitch, Grumpy Gamers Podcast, all one word.
Are we streaming this Thursday?
I don't know.
Stay tuned, listeners.
Well, possibly for this week or possibly until Thursday. This might be GG.
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 GG.